Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Finance Friday with Adaku. And on this particular episode, I want to talk about debt. Now, debt is something that when people encounter it, not because they actually wanted to get there, but because of situations, it becomes a difficult subject. People find it difficult to tell other people, family members, that hey, I am in debt. Is there a way that I could be helped? Is there something that could be done? It's sometimes the way we treat debt, especially amongst us that don't have the money, we treat it like it's a disease. We treat it like it is something that is wrong. I think I've mentioned before that debt is not exactly a bad thing. It's what you do with debt that's the problem. I mean, when you hear that the rich they flip their assets and that they live in debt, it is no jokes, right? So take for instance a very popular story that we all know. Elon Musk wanted to buy Twitter then, that is now known as X, and he didn't have the money in cash, or even if he had the money in cash, he didn't think it was a wise move, to give the company, the Twitter company at that time, or the management of Twitter at that time, the $44 billion. So what did he do? He took some of his stocks, he gave to a bank. The bank held the stocks he had and then gave him the cash in exchange. So he paid using his stocks as collateral for that 44 billion. Now, someone will say he's in debt, right? He was indebted, and that's exactly what most of these rich people do. But the problem between the rich and the poor is that while the rich uses debt to advance their finances, the poor use debt to dig financial graves. Okay, so for the rich, debt is like water to their plants. They are oiling and pouring water, and they are watering their plants, their wealth, and it is growing. For the poor, you take debt and you consume it, and then you are wallowing in repayment. So if for instance you are on this channel today and you are struggling with debt, I want us to come close and let's talk about this thing. Now, when we talk about how to deal with debt, if you have collected the loan, and because before you saw this video you took the loan and used it to buy dress, that is not because you're going to go to work or you want to get a new job, or you took the loan to buy shawarma, or you took the loan to pay house rent, not even your shop rent. Also something that people suffer for when they want to pay back debt. So let's say for instance the debt that they owe is around 400,000 naira, and then they earn 200k. So instead of breaking that debt into small bits and pieces so that they can pay it a bit easier, what happens is that they want to pay that 400,000 maybe twice or three times. What happens is they will now say, I will pay 100,000 four times, and they would begin to struggle. So they can't even save. Now, if you have read the book Richest Man in Babylon, even if the skies are going to cave into the earth, that's how heavy your debt burden is. You must make provision to save. Now, when you make a provision to save and then you are paying almost 50% of your income in debt repayment, you will struggle to meet your other financial obligations. Now, there are two kinds of ways that they do debt repayment. There is the snowballing, which is you just pay everything once, and then there is the bits and pieces where you pay in small chunks. Snowballing is good if, for instance, you earn 400k and the debt that you owe is 20,000 naira. You could just close your eye and you just take that 20,000 naira. That's like less than 10% of what you earn, and you pay it back. But if you are owing somewhere around 600 grand and you earn 400k, you can't do snowballing. You can't pay that chunk once. So what do? You break it down. How do you break it down? I owe 600,000. My salary is 400,000 every month. What is my recurring expenses every month? Recurring expenses is 150,000 naira. My savings, how much am I saving? I save 10%. That's 40,000. Now that's already 190,000. Okay, so let's see discretionary income. funds, money you can use for every other thing, right, is let's say another 10%, that's another 40,000 naira, right? 40 plus 190, that's 230,000 naira. Out of 400k, you already have what left? 170,000. You have other needs that needs to be met. So what you would do is speak to whoever is the lender, right? Especially if you don't have interest on that loan. If you don't have interest on that loan, better for you. Perfect. You speak to the lender and have an agreement that allows you to pay 50,000 every month. So if you pay 50,000 every month in 12 months, have repaid. But that wouldn't stop you from going about your life and living a decent life. What some people tend to do is to want to pay 600,000 from 3 months salary. They think that they will pay it faster, but how you will pay it faster? What happens is that you will not be able to save, and even if you saved, your savings will keep saving you. I had a conversation some time ago with somebody, and I said to them that the reason why sometimes we find it difficult to save is we don't understand that there's supposed to be more than one kind of saving. Yes, I understand that at the point you are, it is a bit too much to save more than 10%. But if you are able to do 20 to 30%, your 10% remains your emergency fund. You put it in your emergency fund. The remaining 20% can go towards your long-term savings or any of the things you desire to buy. And you can also utilize some of those products that allows you to, pay small. It's not compulsory you pay at once. I mean, I know that on this side of the planet, it is not exactly easy for us to pay utilizing credits. I mean, some of us have never mastered using cash, the money that we have. So how much more when you decide to use credits when there are heavy and crazy interest rates attached to it? I digress. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're trying to pay your debt, don't be in a hurry to repay all of it. Speak to your lender. That's the first step. You must speak to your lender first. Have an agreement with your lender on the exact amount you pay every month and when the payment will conclude. If for any reason you cannot meet a particular month's payment, you should give an advance notice. Don't wait for the lender to speak to you to reach out first. Reach out to the lender and say, oh, for this and this reason, I will not be able to make this total payment for this month. However, this is when I will bring what's balance. But ensure that you are not trying to pay all of that money from 1 or 2 months salary. There is a formula to it. Next video I will talk about how to go about that, how to calculate how much to pay when you are trying to pay in bits and pieces. Okay, so if you have debt and a huge burden on you, I hope that you utilize the steps that I have outlined in this video. It will help you greatly. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next.